How you doing? Good morning. Welcome, Delgado's Rants. Thank you for tuning in. Joe Delgado, Indestructible Me, your everything coach. Getting you prepared for the day, wherever you are, maybe the afternoon or evening. Just hopefully giving some value to reset your mind and way you look at things to make you indestructible, to eliminate the toxic bullshit and garbage in your life. Appreciate you tuning in. I truly am grateful for just taking 15, 20 minutes out of your day to listen to what I have to say. And I know that's going to ultimately help you if you just stay with it. Because everything that I talk about on this show is drastically improved my life. Like every concept, every way to re-look at things. I'm mostly talking about things that I have, the visions that I've had, and I know that most people had, and then I just changed my mind, changed the world, and I saw things differently, and it drastically elevated my life and my living conditions. Always agree is today's show. Always agree. Is a concept that I actually learned when I was developing myself with sales. So, you might be in sales, you might not. Spoiler alert, we're all in sales. But it's a concept with to go with customers, no matter what. Like, always agree. Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Great, perfect. Like whatever, just always agree. But then I finally tuned that, not finally tuned it, but I kind of brought that into every area of life. And I was like, man, like this is the great idea. It enhanced my conversations. I talk about this concept a lot. You gotta always agree. Regardless of what's going on, you might be right. And what I'm going to say to that is who has the authority to deem what is right and wrong? If I hold this up and say this cover is green and you're seeing it as gray, who is right? Who is wrong? So if I were having this conversation with you, like, hey, friend, this is green. And you say, no, it's gray. I'm seeing it as green, you seeing it as gray. What am I going to do? I'm going to agree with you. Okay, yeah, it absolutely is gray. Because what does it matter if you're wrong or I'm right? So that's the idea. You need to embrace the concept that what you're seeing, that's right to you. It doesn't matter, right? So it's simple, foolish concept or example, I guess. Put in the comments below, message me, let me know what that concept means to you or that example. Maybe you have a better example that I can use. But that's just that's the essence, right? No one has the authority, in my opinion, to deem anything right or wrong. I think for the long life that humans have been on this planet, we've all been just operating with theories. And we've had enough scientific proof to prove some of them to be fact. Or right. I would rather use the word fact than right. I think they're the same. Maybe I need to do an episode on that. But agreeing, just think about if you don't agree. So again, I'm saying this is green. You say this is gray. I say you're wrong. What is that going to cause you to do? You might actually agree and have this concept, which is great. Most likely, though, you're going to say, no, you're wrong. That is gray. You're an idiot. Right? You're going to try to argue with me because you have to be right. It's innate to be all of us. And it's very hard to hold this back. But you need to acknowledge that the fact that all humans are compelled to be right. You got to shut that off. And that's what this does. If you agree first, regardless of what's going on, Yeah, in sales, someone comes in and blames you, or you're in service, or you're owning a business, whatever it may be. Someone blames you for something that you clearly didn't do. And you spit back a myriad of emotion of, no, I didn't do this, you're wrong, blah, blah, blah. You're going to cause a conflict. And this is a really hard concept to believe or to actually practice, because even though that you're being blamed, like in this example, you're being blamed for something that you didn't do, it's going to be really hard for you to just be like, yeah, I definitely understand, I'm sorry, that was my fault. It's really difficult to turn that urge off and actually admit something that you know you didn't do. But I assure you, probably 9 out of 10, maybe more than that, like 98% of the people or situations, there's going to be a turning effect. Because what you're doing is, instead of hitting that conflict with more conflict, you're just hitting hate with more hate, conflict with more conflict. That's all you're doing if you don't agree. If you do anything other than agree, or anything that's positive, essentially, you're creating a conflict. So if you say, yeah, like, my apologies, that's my bad, sorry that I did that, you're going to immediately start calming the situation down. You know, they might, that if it's an actual person, they might still have tempers that are flaring. And that might still happen for a bit. But again, 98%, I have no statistic background or whatever. But I know from experience on dealing with customers, being in retail. Retail is a complaint factory. So I'm used to, and especially being a manager, district manager, like high on the food chain, people are looking for me to complain. So I have many experiences on just doing that. And they usually will start apologizing for how they're acting, because you're eliminating the thought of the competition of needing to be right. If you give up your need to being right and you give it to someone else, yeah, you be right. Because you know that you don't need to be right. You know, you need to give that up. You need to give that concept up. I don't have to be right ever. So you give that to someone else. You bestow that to someone. They're going to feel great. And then they're going to start rethinking what's going on. Like, well, I'm probably overreacting, or I'm, whatever. And again, you have no idea what's going on in their mind. They could have been diagnosed with cancer, so they're flipping out on you because you stole you took a Post-it note, or you dumped coffee on their desk, but they just lost someone close to them. So they're freaking out on you about spilling coffee, but they're broken emotionally inside, and anything that's going to make them snap. Stop fighting conflict with conflict. Always agree. You have no idea. Give up the urge of being right. Give up that need. You don't need to be. Because I guarantee you it will work back. This is perfect for negotiating, sales, communicating. This is the key to get whatever you want in life. How does that make sense? I guarantee you, if you start with agreeing, you have to figure out or learn a second part of that, and that's reworking a conversation to your end result. But the biggest hurdle that you'll have to overcome, because most likely the other person's going to work themselves. If you are trying to sell something, or if you're just trying to get, let's say you're with a spouse and you're living with someone and they want a dog and you don't, or you want a dog and they don't, whatever. The person that wants a dog is going to try to sell you on the fact that you want a dog, like why the dog would be great. And you're going to, if you just say no, nope, shut that off, they're going to continuously persist, right? So it would be better to be like, yeah, we should definitely get a dog. Yeah, that's awesome. And then you start listing pros and cons. And you start laying in the cons, right? The reasons why you don't want a dog, right? And you're reverse engineering a conversation and set the sales process, and then they're going to give an opening, like, yeah, maybe we shouldn't get a dog. Maybe we shouldn't buy a house. Maybe we shouldn't move. Maybe we shouldn't do X, Y, and Z, right? In a lot of cases, if you present your information properly, that other person's going to come to the realization that maybe your idea is better. But it all starts with agreeing, because it eliminates the boundaries, it eliminates the conflict, because no one wants to argue anyways. And it brings their barriers down, it brings the issue down. If you get a car accident and someone T-bone you because they're on their phone and not looking at the light that's red, and you cross the street, boom, they T-bone you. Now you just have to deal with it. It's going to just give you tons of stress, anger, a ton of issues if you are just like, you are the fault, you're the problem, why did you do this to me? It's terrible, you should be watching where you're going, blah, 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 blah. You know, for insurance purposes and obviously all that type of stuff, who's at fault? Well, they were on the phone. Yeah, absolutely. But, you know, in the moment, like how, and this also will improve your self-discovery, your development on yourself. Because you could ask, how could I have done some things differently to improve my situation? And then you take responsibility. Even though, again, you weren't the direct reason why something happened. I could have taken a different route. I could have left early, left later. I could have done called over the phone and said, or maybe I'm wasting time. Maybe I'm going someplace that I know I shouldn't be going and I'm just wasting money or time. Whatever it may be. You can take responsibility. That's what agreeing is. You're taking responsibility of anything. And you're comfortable with that. Regardless if you're the actual direct cause, direct effect, like you caused the thing to happen or whatever it is. Always agree. I gotta do a whole course with this. This is just a taste. Oh my! I'm gonna even give away like freaking multi-billion-dollar. It's silly to hear that, but this is. If you want to go better in sales, if you want to have effective communication, if you want to be able to do all of the stuff that I'm talking about with negotiating, talking, selling, all that type of stuff, AER. I learned this, and it is the greatest thing in the world. I probably have to look up spelling. Is it with a Z? Empathize. I'll do lowercase. Is it with two S's? I'm terrible. I'm illiterate, apparently. Yeah. Acknowledge, empathize, reassure. Boom. Look, your boy spelled them right. Greatest thing that I could possibly ever teach anyone. I feel like you gotta acknowledge. That's agreeing. Whatever is going on, you gotta acknowledge what's going on. You're wrong. Okay, absolutely. I get that. I understand that. That's my perception. whatever. I want a dog. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I want a dog too. Fantastic. What type of dog you want? Let's get it. Whatever it may be, you got to acknowledge. You got to agree. This is agreeing. You got to agree. That's acknowledging. Being positive. You're punching the person right in the face. Emphasize. You're thinking from their point of view. Yeah, I definitely want a dog. It would be great for long walks, exercise, something to cuddle up with. I definitely understand that. Or, yeah, I would be pissed too that your bill went up from last month to this month. I would be upset too. Like, whatever it may be. You're going from their perspective. You're trying to take off your hat and put their hat on. And then you reassure them. And if you're in sales, you use some type of urgency, right? I just gave you the secret to all the sales processes too. Like if you are not in the sales or whatever, and you're seeing advertisements, this is going to be the basis of how things are laid out. Acknowledge, empathize, reassure. So yeah, absolutely, we should definitely get a dog, for sure. It's crazy. Why haven't we gotten a dog yet? I understand that you want to get a dog because the walks, the energy, the cuddle, the emotion side of things. That's the one thing that I would really love. Have we ever thought about the cost and the emotional aspect if we have to get surgery or you have to put it down, or the amount of time constraint that animal will be put into the house? If we get up and move, there's a lot of issues with landlords accepting dogs. If we get a dog, it's going to be a lot of issues. So what we need to do is we need to create a plan and look at all of the options and find out if this is going to be the best solution. Boom. Acknowledge, emphasize, reassure. So, and this could be sales. I always use this example in my sales history of like explaining to sales reps with a kid. I'm not a parent, but I know like if I had a kid, if I went through this, this is exactly how I would respond. Kid doesn't want to go to school, right? They get up, they don't want to go to school that day. Okay, absolutely. When I was a kid, I didn't want to go to school either. So that was acknowledge and emphasize, right? Because I acknowledge, yeah, definitely, I hate school. I hated school when I was younger. When I was in your shoes and when I was your age, I hated going to school. Getting up, dragging my feet, getting on a cold bus, going to school, doing all this type of stuff, it just sucked. But if you don't go to school now, and if you don't get this habit in, if you don't continuously learn, then you're not going to be able to enjoy all the things that you love right now. A roof over your head, comfort of a home, because you're not going to be able to get a great job. You're not going to be able to earn income if you don't learn how to educate yourself in order to do all that. So you're not going to be able to get everything that you like or anything you like. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to get ready. We're going to get you to school so you can get those things that you want and you desire. Boom. Then I close the deal. Acknowledge, empathize, reassure. I'm going to definitely go in more detail about this. This is definitely a 100% course. Like, it's just, it is. It's multi-billion-dollar. Like, this is how organizations work, and this will evolutionize your life. Like, it's crazy. You got to always agree. Always agree. Find us on Indestructible Me. Your everything coach. We got to get you indestructible. Change the mind, and we change the world. Thank you for tuning in, and always be great.